Good afternoon and welcome to Marketplace. Coming up, International Monetary Fund to release new debt sustainability analysis on Ghana before end of this month after board meeting.
Review, including this one that is in progress, the IMF does provide not only a full update of the economic situation and the macroeconomic projections, but also the debt sustainability analysis.
National Pensions Regulatory Authority moves to scrutinize operations and investments of State Pension Trust (SNIT) and rules out collapse of the scheme in 12 years.
They are doing their very best. They have an investment. Yes, all professionals in the actuaries, investment division and analysts and all that are there. Yes, it is a defined benefit scheme, and they've actually done several investments.
Later on Show Business, we will be discussing the growing field of event organizing. These and many more lined up for you in the next 30 minutes with me, Emma Davis. Welcome. Let's settle for the details. The IMF is set to release new debt sustainability analysis on Ghana after its board meeting before the end of this month. The report shows some significant progress Ghana has made to improve its debt distress status and turning the economy around. The development is expected to impact positively on the Eurobond debt restructuring negotiations. Julie Kozak is Director of Communications of the IMF and has been given some details during a press conference in Washington, D.C.
With respect to the specific questions on the debt sustainability analysis, at each review, including this one that is in progress, the IMF does provide not only a full update of the economic situation and the macroeconomic projections, but also the debt sustainability analysis. So the latest DSA will be published with the staff report after the board considers the second review of the program. And of course, it's also just to reiterate that it is now important for the government to continue to make progress as it has been doing with its creditors to ultimately restore debt sustainability for the country.
Research lead at GCB Capital, Courage Puti, has welcomed moves by the Bank of Ghana to strengthen the cedi, but says more needs to be done to ensure its long-term sustainability. He is of the view that the central bank must focus on measures to address speculations.
Level of intervention that is bringing the correction, I don't think we can sustain that for a long time. So we need ultimately not just be providing like supply to meet the demand levels. There's a certain level of frivolity in the levels of demand you are seeing. So we need to be able to separate effective demand from those that are speculating and then meet those. For instance, if Bank of Ghana, just for argument's sake, is doing $50 million every week as intervention, is it something we can sustain for the next maybe 7, 5, 6 months? I don't think so. Ultimately, it has to come back to a level that is sustainable. That is what I mean. So the correction, whether it will continue or not, and where it could get to will depend on how we effectively anchor sentiment. Effectively me saying that if you can eradicate the speculative triggers, then you can get a long-term stability. But if it's about just injecting liquidity now to fuel or to meet the levels of demand there, how long can we go with the interventions we're having now? That's the point I'm making.
Ghana Shippers Authority has stated that it is engaging the Bank of Ghana to fix a workable exchange rate regime for importers at the ports. The assurance comes after years of complaints from importers due to the exchange rate volatilities. The following report has more.
The Ghana Shippers Authority engaged key stakeholders in the industry As part of measures to seek the input of importers ahead of its proposal to amend the country's Shipping Act, the amendments will address issues such as demurrage administrative charges, taxes, and impact of exchange rate volatilities on the operations of importers. Speaking to the media after a breakfast meeting for top shippers in the Southern Zone, Head Business Development and Commercial Services at the authority, Fred Esiedu-Date, said they are hopeful the meeting with the Bank of Ghana will be fruitful.
So the industry has a challenge with the arbitrary application of exchange rates. This matter has been with us for quite a bit, and we have engaged at the highest level the Bank of Ghana on it to give direction in terms of how to address it. They have provided some guidelines, and we are following through. In fact, we have done some extensive work, but we are yet to engage with the Bank of Ghana, and we believe that that process will lead to a definitive, pronouncement or directive that will lead us all out of this quagmire.
Now, my last one, you did mention Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Kwesi Sapon, announced that the GSA will be celebrating its 50th anniversary this year.
As we mark our Golden Jubilee anniversary this year, the need for the authority to remain responsive and relevant in the dynamic international trade environment becomes more compelling. The next decade or more presents an opportunity for us all to consolidate the efforts to promote and enhance the competitiveness of the entire commercial shipping industry. This will necessitate fresh ideas and a reimagining of our strategic direction to pave the way for the profitability and competitiveness of Ghana's import and export business.
Now to the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, as it revealed that it has taken steps to scrutinize operations and investments of the State Pension Trust, SNIT. This is part of measures being implemented to ensure its sustainability. The regulator is, however, ruling out the collapse of the scheme in 12 years as projected by the International Labour Organization. John Koenig-Imbro is Chief Executive of the National Pensions Regulatory Authority and has been speaking on PM Express Business Edition.
They are doing their very best. They have an investment. Yes, all professionals in the actuaries, investment division and analysts and all that are there. Yes, it is a defined benefit scheme, and they've actually done several investments. Some of them, of course, are not giving the necessary benefits, returns, as you would all have wanted. But reality is that if investment risk you cannot actually hedge against, you can only try and do your very best. We would need to. We have given them a policy. We have worked with SNIT to come up with a broad policy by law. And we've been proud to that. What they have done, if you have checked their statement, you see all the asset classes. We're trying to help to align these ones and then look at the kind of exposures to the ones that are not performing and all that, to be able to unleash some kind of freshness of life into the financial sustainability of the scheme. And apart from the investment policy, we are also looking at their expenditure, admin expenses. That is an area that the board is also seriously looking at, for us to also just engage and streamline and make sure that in addition to looking at their investments, they are also being a bit careful and very prudential when it comes to their investment and then also the admin expenses. You need to be prudent otherwise. No matter how much you come in, as I mentioned about somebody's retirement amount, you are not likely to really get a benefit of it.
Absa Bank is making progress with initiatives to enhance environmental sustainability and promote the sustainable development goals across the country. According to the bank, this is part of its corporate social responsibility to support the community where it operates. Here is Director of Marketing and Corporate Affairs at Absa Bank, Nana Esilfua Tamaklo, speaking to journalists after leading a volunteerism campaign to plant 200 coconut trees at the Botiano Beach.
The Good Force Day by Absa Bank is dedicated towards embarking on a sustainable event to support communities and the environment. Starting with the planting of 200 coconut trees at the Botiano Beach in Accra, the bank is partnering Ecosoil to ensure the safety of the trees and also make the beach clean at all times. Director of Marketing and Corporate Affairs at Absa Bank, Nana Esilfua Tamaklo, explained the motive behind the sustainability drive.
At Absa Bank, we take sustainability issues very seriously, and it's extremely strategic for us. And you know, with sustainability, there are various aspects of it, how we do business as a bank, and then also other sustainability elements which are very key for protecting our environment. Waste management is one of them, environmental protection is one of them, and many other sustainability initiatives. So we partnered with Ecosoil. And if you know a little bit about Ecosoil, this is an area that they've built expertise in. We are bankers, but because we want to invest in supporting our environment and also making an impact in the communities in which we operate, we partnered with Ecosoil so we can undertake this project.
General Manager of Ecosoil, Abita Odame Nyate, applauded the initiative and called for more support to preserve the environment.
So we are calling now to other communities, especially in Accra, where the traditional authorities have to also rise and support both government and private organizations and entities like Absa and Ecosoil to ensure that our beaches are clean. And we believe that the planting of these 200 trees is just the starting of something big, where we hope to even plant more trees in the coming years to help mitigate the effects of climate change that we see around.
Absa Bank is hoping to plant about 10,000 trees across the country as part of the sustainability initiative.
The National Lottery Authority is warning illegal lottery operators to desist from such activities or face some sanctions. The authority says it will deepen engagement with players on the illegal lottery operations going forward. Director General Samuel Ewuku said the authority will continue to embark on some distress actions to sanitize the space. He spoke to Joy Business at a training for responsible gaming in collaboration with the European lotteries.
The training was to equip players within the space and staff of the National Lottery Authority on the importance of responsible gaming. Director General of the National Lottery Authority, Samuel Ewuku, said the authority will leverage artificial intelligence to cushion their operations.
My word to the players out there, this person that you went to today to play your game, if the person is not licensed by the NLA to operate, when you win and you go there and the person vanishes, you cannot come to the NLA and complain. Play with licensed operators and the National Lottery Authority. Then you are guaranteed that when you have a case, you come to the NLA, we go through the motions with you, we're able to then identify that company and we'll retrieve your monies for you. But what these illegal operators do, once they collect a lot of money, when there's a win against them, they leave that area. Let's say Adan, and I'll go to set up somewhere in Zabzugu. Yes, and then they will operate there because the people there will not know them. So this is a new sheriff in town, a new philanthropist. The person makes another windfall. When you have a win against that person or that company, then they leave there at night and come to operate in Seshi, Yoso. So it's a coordinated mafia and cartel in the lottery industry. But so far, let me also pay glowing tribute to the National Security, the National Signals Bureau. They've been fantastic and supportive to the NLA, especially in these very difficult times between us and the illegal operators. They've made several arrests. They've helped us to put several people behind bars and also before the court.
Legal advisor at the European lotteries, Philip Vlamek, commended the authority on the move to sanitize the space.
And I have to say, we see here a very dynamic lottery in Africa. In my view, probably, you know, I would say the leading lottery in the African continent, playing also a role in the international associations, both the World Lottery Association and the African Lottery Association, and enhancing also a strong cooperation with the European Lotteries Association. So we need to see this training in that format. You know, we have been talking about, you know, the role of lotteries in society, which is very important, which is a universal principle. You know, there are some even countries where the protection of the lottery model is in the constitution of the country. It's very important. So lotteries are there, to make sure that people get access to a low-risk game at a very low price with a big dream.
The analyst said it will also continue with Earth Good Causes Foundation.
Let's turn our spotlight on Ghana's vibrant showbiz industry, particularly the growing field of event organizing on today's show business segment. Because as live events and entertainment gain traction, this sector is evolving into a significant economic driver, offering opportunities and facing unique challenges. Joining us via Zoom is culture journalist Kenneth Awatridako with some more insights on this. Hello, Kenneth. Thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about the current state of the event organizing industry in Ghana? How has it evolved in recent years?
So, Emma, if you can hear me, there has been a lot of evolution when it comes to the entertainment space here in Ghana. You'd realize that for a very long time, Ghanaians have been into the business of organizing events. Back in the day when our forefathers were in the limelight, there were, events of gatherings, for instance, when there was the need for conversations or announcements or derbas or even a very little cultural gathering. You know that back then people used to gather around the fire to tell stories amongst others. All those are very little gatherings that, you could term these days as event organizing, but the difference is that it has seen a lot of evolution now. It has moved from small community-based events to now large scale, concerts and festivals amongst others, including even, corporate gatherings as well. So basically the increasing demand for, the quality of entertainment and professional events has basically spurred, the innovation in this particular sector, for which reason we now have what is known as a very professional event space where event organizers are actually thriving as we speak.
Kenneth, as this is a developing space, what can you say are some of the key challenges being faced by the organizers?
Well, the challenges are quite numerous. I mean, if you look at the fact that infrastructure in the country is one big issue that we are still grappling with, you'd understand that if you have like an event, for instance, where there are state-of-the-art venues, for instance, it would have helped a lot as well. And also logistical issues such as, maybe equipment, very basic equipment that since we are talking about increasing the standard of event organizing in the country, you'd understand that logistical challenges are a very big issue. And if that is also solved, it's going to help, facilitate a lot of these events. For instance, if you don't have like a good maybe road infrastructure, for instance, and you still have like a very good auditorium where you're organizing an event, execution will be a problem because you can give the time that guests should arrive or audiences should arrive, but the fact that the road amenities are very bad will very delay the plans for that particular activity. So that also coupled with the fluctuation costs. I mean, for now we are in a situation where people are complaining a lot about how the prices of goods and products on the market are going high, and this is also affecting the creative industry and also dovetailing into the event organizing space as well. So as an event organizer, if you have equipment that are very expensive, they used to be expensive, but now still going up and up depending on how the depreciation of the local currency is going. It's also going to affect your activity as well. So fluctuation costs, logistical challenges also, and also basically infrastructural issues are all things that affect event organizers in the country as well.
Right. Someone would say we now live in a digital world. How would you say these people are leveraging technology? Any innovations you'd like to share?
There are so many right now. I mean, there's this conversation that we are having on Zoom alone is one big technological challenge that has been solved that was happening during COVID-19 and has now become a trend that even when there's an event and the patrons can't be there physically, people are employing technologies such as Zoom, such as Skype, among other video conferencing devices or innovations that are helping as well. When it comes to like the ticketing, for instance, as well, there are now digital ticketing systems. They are advanced, sound and lighting equipment, and we are seeing a shift from, very basic activities or very basic things that were used to be done in an archaic way, finding now more sophisticated ways to improve like the general experience of what an event was going to be. So there are lots of innovations that are being employed right now. Virtual reality is a big deal as well, and also is making its way into the event. So basically, the entire experience of event organizing is basically seeing a very huge shift, and Ghana is currently trying to catch up as well.
Kenneth, do you have any recommendations for these people or event organizers and how they could break through in this dynamic industry?
So as a critique who's not too much into planning events, the best that I can do is look at what best practices are being employed out there in the West, for instance, where the technological advancement has seen a lot of a very big shift as well. So if you look at those things, you realize that networking among event organizers is very important, because that's the only way you can get to learn the best practices elsewhere and apply that in your life as well to improve the local scene here as well. So that builds stronger relationships. Also, event organizers can help by staying very current and updated with trends and technologies as well, and also basically ensuring that whatever technology, whatever innovation or event you're organizing, no matter how good it is, has the local context in mind. So basically helps you prepare for any type of audience that you're running. So if you're in Ghana, you understand that you make sure that the event that you're organizing or whatever innovation that you're bringing in to make it happen has a very local touch, and you contextualize it to be able to address its own particular challenges, Emma.
Right. Thank you very much, Kenneth, for the insight and for making time on Marketplace. One last story before we go. The 7th edition of the Magdan Youth Connect will take place at the campus of the Simon Diedong Dogbo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies today. Ahead of the program, Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam has been speaking to students of the university on the expectation, and now reports from WA.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Magdan Group of Companies, Daniel Macaulay, for the past couple of years, has embarked on a program codenamed Magdan Youth Connect, where he meets, interacts, mentors, and shares his life and entrepreneurial experience with the youth of the country with a view to bettering their lives in future. The event, which is to be held this Friday at the new auditorium of the Simon Diedong Dogbo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDD UBITS, will be the 7th since the start of the Magdan Youth Connect series. Christian Kwesi is a former NUX president of SDD UBITS and now serves as an ambassador for the Magdan Youth Connect program. He threw further light on the program.
Because if you look at young people currently, with the future ahead of us, we need a lot of mentorship and guidance. And so he has taken it upon himself to empower the next generation of entrepreneurs, businessmen, and also leaders through this particular program. The first thing students should expect is inspiration. Inspiration from one of Ghana's most successful businessmen, very accomplished businessman, and also one of Ghana's richest men. It's a great honor and privilege to host him in our region and our campus for that matter. So students should expect, knowledge, insights and guidance as far as living a purposeful life is concerned. And also there will be a business pitch where one privileged team or individual will make away with a 10,000 cedis cash prize. And aside that too, those who will be part of the business pitch will get that opportunity to be enrolled in the Magdan Entrepreneurship Challenge, where they will be competing for the $100,000 cash prize, the first and the best of its kind in this country.
Ahead of the program on Friday, students of SDD UBITS are already excited about the program to be held in their campus and pledge to make the most of it.
Actually, much has been said and heard about Magdan. We haven't seen him in person. It is our time to feel the impact, So coming Friday, we are going to see him in person. We hope it will be an impactful one. Those with business ideas will be heard, analyzed, and if possible, supported. So we just hope this is one of a kind.
First of all, I would like to say I'm very happy Magdan is coming here. And not only that, I have higher expectations because last year That was last 2 years. It was held at the Tamale campus, and I was a part of it. But the mistake I made was that I didn't make good use of it. And right now that it is coming to my very own campus, one interesting thing about it is that there is going to be a business pitch, and I have a team that is going to participate. So I expect that my team is going to win the huge 10,000 Ghana cedis. And
that's it for your Friday edition of Marketplace with me, Emma Davis. But for more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com, and our lead stories today are: NPRA vows swift action on ILO reports concerns over SNIT. EcoBank Group Chief Executive Jeremy Awori defends dividend freeze despite record revenue. Do visit the portal and be updated. My name is Emma Davis. Have a good afternoon.